In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to express one quantity as a percentage of another, and you should be able to do this yourself by the end of the lesson. Okay, so let's start with examples. In a field, there are 40 animals, of which 3 are horses. What fraction of the animals in the field are horses? So we're just starting looking at how we come up with a fraction. Now, we need to spot some key words that mean divide, because remember, that's what fractions are all about. So if we're thinking about out of, what is it out of, that is going to become our denominator. So that is the first thing I look for. I say, well, what is the total amount? What is this out of? Well, altogether there are 40 animals. So this means that the horses are 3 out of 40, which means the denominator of my fraction becomes 40 and the numerator is 3 because there are 3 horses. That's what that means, 3 out of 40. So that's it. In example 2, of the 80 fish in my bowl, 70 are goldfish. What fraction of all of the fish in the bowl are goldfish? So out of everything, there are 80 fish altogether. So my fraction is going to be out of 80. Now this one specifically asks about goldfish. So how many goldfish are there? There are 70 goldfish. Now I can do one better here because we've been doing fractions previously. I can simplify this by dividing by 10 to give me 7 out of 8. Part 2 asks, well, how many are others? So if there are 80 fish in the bowl altogether, 70 are goldfish, that means that there are 10 that are not goldfish. Okay, so in this case, it's still out of 80. There are still 80 fish altogether. However, this time, others make up 10 of those 80. And again, we can do one better here by dividing throughout by 10 to get 1 over 8. So just a little reminder, it's not been too long since we've done this. Change the following fractions into percentages. So for these, some of these we should know off of the top of our head. Just keep looking at that table to practice it, but I'll show you how you would do it with a calculator anyway. Remember, the rule is you divide the top by the bottom, and like it's hinting at here, we multiply by 100. So 3 divided by 4 is 0.75 times 100 is 75%. In part B, we're applying the same method. 1 divided by 4 multiplied by 100. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25 times 100 is 25%. And in the last one, 1 divided by 20 multiplying by 100 is 5%. And that can all be done with a calculator. However, especially part A and B, I would expect you to know those off the top of your head. Okay, example 4. So we're going to take it up a notch here. We're going to apply a step 2 as well. A gardener owns a 200-acre plot of land. This table shows how he divides his plot when growing veg. Calculate the percentage of the total area used for potatoes. So, step 1, write as a fraction first. So we're going to do what we done in example 1 and 2 and come up with the fraction. Now, altogether, what is this plot of land out of? Well, it is out of 200, and it tells you that in the start of the question. So it's really important to read the question. It's a 200-acre plot. Calculate the total area used for potatoes. Well, how much of this plot is used for potatoes? It is 106. Okay. Now, it doesn't ask the fraction this time, it asks the percentage. So we need to change that into a percentage by dividing the top number by the bottom number and multiplying by 100. Okay, so pop that in your calculator to give me 53%. Now, especially with a diagram, you could do a little common sense check here and say, well, does that look like 53%? Remember, 50% is half. Yes, that does look like roughly half of the whole plot. Okay, last example. Mrs. Thompson's council tax was calculated to be £120 per month. This year it rose by £48. What was this year's increase as a percentage of the £120? Okay, so it's telling us here it is a percentage of the £120. So that means our fraction should be out of 120. This year it rose by 48, so we're asking what is 48 as a percentage of 120. And again, we change this into a percentage by dividing top by bottom and multiplying by 100. And our final answer is 40%, which means that was a 40% increase. Okay, so there's nothing more difficult to this. I would say the most difficult part is trying to come up with what is our fraction at the beginning. So please, please, please make sure you're asking for help if you need it. Don't be sitting at home stuck. Make sure you give me an email or ask on the team. Okay guys, thank you.